Hello, welcome to Krafting Kitty. My name is Erin, and it is Tuesday, which means it is time to tackle it. Yes! What are we tackling? Well, this year, 2025, is my year of tackling it, of taming the beasts, of moving my water from a precarious position to the table where it's steady. The goal is on Mondays we're talking about my yarn collection. We're managing that. We're talking about the yarns I have on the shelf, what I'm keeping, yarns that I have in storage that may be coming into the rotation, or things I'm willing to let go of. On Tuesdays we're talking about the WIP problem, my WIP explosion, my WIP archipelago, my WIP island. I have a WIP problem. I like starting, and then sometimes I lose track of projects. I have 3 20-gallon bins full of projects, and then I have some that don't fit in the bins that are just kind of sitting. I also need to reclaim my sewing table, which is currently covered in some WIPs as well. Okay, all that aside, in order to do that, I am joining Miss Shannon at another yarn on her Tackle It adventure. So Tackle It is basically tackling those WIPs. She is going through, she has very lovely cubes full of her WIPs, and she's going through deciding. She also has UFOs. I tend to think of everything as WIPs rather than UFOs. I don't know why. I think it's just nomenclature. It's whatever you want to do. And she's deciding, is she going to work on it? Is she going to rip it out? Is she going to frog it? Is she going to tink it? Whatever you want to call it. Tinking, so I know we have a lot of crocheters here. A lot of people are familiar with the word frog. It's kind of used in crochet and in knit. Tink is kind of just more specifically to knit, and it's the word knit backwards, so it's pulling out your knitting, your tinking. And anyway, I don't know why I went on that little side journey. So we are starting with the big bin in the master bedroom. And I was going to open it up, pull out the first project, and start working on it. That first project was Sophie. You know, if you've been around, I have a complicated relationship with my Sophie project. I love my Sophie project. I'm using it as a scrap buster, which I adore the idea of taking the scraps, the unused leftovers, and making a piece of art with it. It's very compelling to me. Sophie is a challenge. And I parted ways with her and put her into WIP Island. I'm not ready for Sophie right now. I want to wait. I have a big box of Neon Lights yarn that's left over from projects I made for my kiddos that I would like to finish, and that will clear out a big box, and then I will have space for Sophie to come out to play. But, so I grabbed the second thing. What was my second item? It is not the oldest project in that bin, but it's pretty darn old. It's my 2022 MCal from Stephen West Twists and Turns. So we kind of discussed last week that my goal was to finish clue 2. Yeah, I recognize each clue is supposed to take you a week or 3 years. Actually, no, it's only 2 years because we haven't reached October yet. 2.5 years, we'll say. No, not 2.5 until we reach April. 2.25. I'll give you 2.25. So, I did reach my goal. I have finished clue 2. It is completely off the needles because you bind off at the end. So this, okay, now I can tell which one it is because it came out very wavy with my I-cord burned off. This is the section I just completed. So there it is. It's cables and an I-cord bind off. It's beautiful. So to me, in the camera, the cables get lost, but in person, you can really see the texture. So maybe that yarn was a little too speckly for this purpose, but I like it. And anyway, this is what we've got at the end of clue 2. Clue 1 was this chevrons and Jacob ladder in the second, or in the middle. And then clue 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So clue 2. No, so there's 4 clues. This is where I'm confusing myself. There are 4 clues, and each one has sections within. So clue 1 was this middle section. That was all of clue 1, which was also section 1. Section 2 was the side, their short row wings. So 2 and section 3. Section 4 was this cable I-cord, and section 5 was this cable I-cord. So that completes all of clue 1 up through section 5. I'm now starting clue 3, which is sections 6 and 7. Yep, section 6 and 7 are clue 3. But I finished one of my priority projects in my weekly roundup series. So we are going to remove this from the Tackle It series and put this into updates you'll see weekly in the weekly roundup. Because I would like to tackle new projects. I feel like we have spent quite a while on twists and turns. I've gotten back into it. It can be promoted out of this segment and go into another one. I don't know if it's a promotion or a demotion. I don't know. I'm still going to keep working on it. We're just going to add something new into the rotation for today. So, or for Tuesdays. I feel like I'm talking really weird. I hope it's making sense. Anyway, we will next week pull out a new project and start talking about it. And then, so this is where I'm having a little struggle. I need to balance all of the projects and the desire to pull things out of the WIP area. Also, let's be honest, the urge to cast on new items. I say cast on whether it's a knit or crochet. I learned to knit first. It's just my way of speaking about how to start a project. We're looking through all this yarn management yarn. It's reigniting the love of all the projects I wanted to do. So I know I want to grab new yarn and start those projects. And I'm struggling on how to balance them without having an even greater whip-plosion and putting myself into a deeper hole. So, we are going to next Tuesday pull something out of WIPS and start that. I believe what I'm going to do is wait until I finish one of my priority projects in the weekly roundup, and then I'm going to start a new project. I'm not going to grab a WIP. I'm not going to promote this and move this days. Because I have that desire. Now, I do have some small projects that I did start. I realized last week in my weekly roundup, I totally forgot to mention that I did start a crochet designs project with Mary. That's the Krafting Kitty Creator Spotlight of the month for February. She had a number of really cute Valentine's Day designs, and I thought, I just really wanted to make some. So I'm making the little heart bag, and then I would also like to make, she just released a heart choker. I'd like to make that for bingo, but I'm not going to make it as a choker. I'd like to make it as a headband, and I think it'll work well for both. But I haven't watched the tutorial yet fully. I watched kind of the beginning to see what it was. But I think I can make it work for a headband. I've lost my train of thought. Anyway, but those are smaller projects. Those aren't big, time-consuming projects. And plus it gives you the adrenaline, the rush of finishing something, which is what the dishcloths for Wednesday Wipeout does. It's a small project. I can finish it in half hour to 45 minutes, usually, depending on the amount of applique. And I get that rush of having completed something, of using some yarn. You know what I'm getting at. What do you guys think? Do you have any advice for me? I would love to hear it. I do want to make a little programming note here myself. You will recall my husband was ill and was working from home a lot. Apparently we have exceeded our internet usage and we are being metered. I'm having a lot of difficulty getting videos to post. My Yarn Management Monday video last night, I started posting at 9:20 in the morning and it didn't get up until after 7 p.m. So I'm going to do my best to get videos out. I hope you see this on Tuesday. I had a Sunday video that never made it up. I did start to open my Joanne panic buying. I'm currently trying to push that through now, but that will premiere. I've got it scheduled for 7 p.m. tonight. So if I can babysit and push that through for the evening, then I would like to start this one and push it through. But if you're seeing things come out of order or on different days, or you're seeing multiple videos a day, I do apologize. I don't really love to do that, but sometimes I have to. And I'm getting through what I can get through right now. Brian's talking about upgrading services. We might be changing providers. I don't know. He really hasn't been happy with this provider for a long time, but that's all in flux. This is a right now. So I apologize if things are a bit haphazard or coming out at weird times. It's not intended. Okay. I love you all. I would love your advice on my WIPS situation, or, you know, what do you think my strategy should be? Okay, I'm going to be quiet. I would love your thoughts. I would like to know how you manage your WIPS. Are you more disciplined than I and have fewer you work on? Are you a one project at a time person? I used to be a one project at a time, but I'd get like the middle of the project doldrums and I'd be like, oh, and I would notice myself slowing down mid-project. And then you get like to a certain point and you're near the end and you're like, ah, and you have to start working really fast. I found that bouncing between projects, having more than one, keeps me motivated. I don't feel those doldrums because I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little bored with this one. Let's move to a different one. And then the uniqueness, I don't know if it's uniqueness. I don't know. But that seems to be increasing my productivity, but to a point when I get too many WIPs, and that's how these projects got lost. Okay, I'm done blabbering. Love to you all. Thank you for letting me vent and stream of conscious at you. I think it maybe helped. I don't know. At least it puts things out into the ether. And not inside Erin's brain. Okay. I love you. I will talk to you later. I don't know how many times I've started to stop this video and then just kept going. This is the longest Midwestern goodbye of Midwestern goodbyes, and we're ending it here. Have a nice day.